Alright.
Recording.
Now recording. Let's switch it up. Let's go with this. We'll turn this off. We'll start it over. Alright. So it's been a long time since we played. So the opening cutscene is part cutscene, part recap. We open up with a scene of a small tavern or inn in Roldez. It's dusk. Of course it's dusk. A woman in a cloak arrives at the inn door. She knocks, and an older man. This older man opens the door. Let me get all these tokens off of here. The woman, she says, "Oh, thank you. I hope it won't be long. Please take care of him for me." He says, Of course. No, it's not a problem. The more people in the house, the more happy the household, right?" She anxiously looks over her shoulders and whatnot, and she hands the man a bundle. And the camera kind of pans around, and you can see that the bundle is a little red baby. We cut to a cutscene. We see the woods. It's dark. The music's not. Ignore the music. And we see a bunch of soldiers riding through the woods, waving the banners of the risen martyr. The subtitle across the screen says, "Several years later." At the back of the pack, it's a dozen mounted soldiers, and at the back of the pack, there's a young, inexperienced boy, barely a man, riding along behind the soldiers. They arrive at a clearing that is illuminated by a blue glowing circular portal as streams of zombies come pouring through. The soldiers immediately start cutting swaths, and the young man, who is obviously Osbright, is maintaining his own, killing a few zombies as the chaos around him fails to overwhelm his abilities. Just as he's watching this whole thing and helping and contributing and whatnot, one of the soldiers, a particularly burly guy, no helmet, bald head, long red braided beard, and a big axe, leaps off his horse, cuts a zombie in half, and chases straight toward the portal where a less zombie-like undead of some sort seems to be maintaining the portal. At his charge, the undead leaps through, and without hesitation, the big burly man yells a battle cry and leaps through afterward. As he does so, the leading knight, a woman with a gold helmet with a huge red plume across the top, shouts out, "No!" And the portal snaps shut behind him. We cut to, again, several years later, across the bottom of the screen. We see a hilltop with a little gazebo type thing set up. And we see Avora and Dura standing there, joining hands and trading rings as a bunch of notables look on, including all of the orphan family. And they're celebrating and partying, and you see the sun go down. You see Roldez in the distance, and you see the ocean. And it's a beautiful sunset. And it's a smash cut to the port being overrun by Sahuagin and Chul, which are those big lobster men. And we see the city guard, the palace guard, and the risen martyr knighthood as they fight back these hordes of fish people. We see our orphan children family charging down the hill from the wedding to help, as a giant dragon turtle comes out of the water and begins to start to lay siege to the shore of Roldez. Many buildings are flaming as the sky just tears open, and 4 gigantic meteors just drop out of nowhere. One slams the dragon turtle hard on the shell, exposing bone and blood gouts everywhere, as it immediately reels from the hit as the other three meteors hit various targets out in the ocean. And then there's a horn blast, and the sea creatures go into a retreat. A cheer goes up across the city as they realize they've won, but the cheer is quickly turned into a scream as the camera cuts to Lady Lythe standing on the battlements of Roldez, now no longer in her elf guise, but in her true Lich Queen image. Without a word, she turns and she disappears, teleporting away. No!
Plot twist.
We cut to a hallway inside the mage school where she appears instantly. Students that were just walking to class or otherwise reacting to what was going on in Roldez see her and scream and scatter, but she pays them no attention as she walks to the door to her office, opens the door and goes in and begins to rummage through some of her valuables, her more precious things. As Tristan comes in and he goes, "What was going on at the..." Oh no. He stops short as he realizes that she doesn't look herself. She just looks up at him and gives him a cold look, which is the only look she's capable of in this particular guise. And then she... Oh, sorry, I'm supposed to be putting tokens on here. As she calmly gives him one last final glance. That's a terrible image, but it's the only one I got of her. As she disappears again. I know, it's weird. Again, AI images are hard to make them do what I want them to. And then she disappears once more, leaving Tristan kind of standing there. His shoulders kind of visibly slump. One more cut. We are in the throne room, the conference room area. We see King Huric I, King Huric II, Avora, and Dura. We see Tristan standing by the door, and next to him is Miranda. We see Lady Clarice Redgrave, the leader of the Risen Martyrs. We see Grepla. We see Garen Coleslinger, and we see Enrico, the leader of the Bard School that has only been in one scene so far. And in addition to them, we see a handful of other council people, leaders of the various factions of the city. And we come in the middle of a heated argument as the Trades Guild master, who has like a pin that indicates that he's a forge master or blacksmith or something, slams the table and says, "How are we supposed to listen to you if you knew what was going on this whole time and did not feel that it was important to tell us that we were taking leadership advice from an undead nightmare? We should... I can't listen to this," he says, and he turns and he storms out the door. And with him, a few other guards leave.
Who was that?
Leader of the Artisans Guild, Trade Guild, something. Nobody that's a named
So it's not
character.
None of these.
It is not one of these. No, I didn't have a token for that guy. I don't have an entire script of dialogue going on, but what's basically happening in this cutscene is that there's an argument between those who knew and those who didn't. And if you were going to break it into a list of those who knews, he knew, obviously. He knew. She did not. They did not. He did. She did not. She did. He did.
Of course he did.
Now, they're not arguing amongst each other, but there's definitely a distrust, and from the top 4 on this side, I would say, a feeling of betrayal, like you didn't feel like you could trust us or that it was important for us to know this information. The only one who seems more amused than upset, if you can't figure out who that would be, is definitely Grepla. A little chaos goes a long way with Grepla. She also isn't from here, and so hasn't grown up with the boogeyman stories of the Lich Queen and what she's capable of and whatnot. Nor have Dura and Avora really, but, and I can't speak for their players, but I would think there's maybe just a tiny bit of, like, you couldn't, no one told us we were hanging out and spending time one-on-one with that person or whatnot. But again, this is just to establish that there's now a tiny bit of division between the leadership of Roldez. Whoa, did Rainroll just disappear off the side of the map somehow? Oh, okay. I see what's happening. Did you change your token, Chris?
I did.
Whoa.
Oh. Whoa, what the
Okay.
heck?
Okay, all right. And you even changed all the settings. That's kind of impressive. How did you do that?
Do what?
I'm not.
It's
hearing
even-
Chris.
He's really, really quiet.
Oh, I was a little bit further away from or the other Chris.
No, you.
No, you.
No, you.
All right, let me do this now that you've got a new token. Thank you. Okay, I just scaled you to the same size. So cutscene technically over, but here's what's happened in the week following the wedding. There were more than 24 Roldez people killed in the attack. Could be a lot worse. A decent chunk of the port city side of the city was damaged either on fire or from some of the larger monsters just rampaging through. So there was a massive funeral. Let's change the music. But and the town stepped up, right? An effort was made to rebuild as fast as possible. The many Dragonborn, hundreds of Dragonborn that live here, were eager to chip in so they could kind of make themselves feel more important in Roldez, because there were issues toward the end of the last time that we played. But after that, infrastructure in Roldez starts to not fall apart, but definitely loosen. Various factions start to push their limits, see what they can get away with. Crime starts to spike a little bit, and it becomes apparent to those who pay attention that maybe the king didn't actually run as much of Roldez as the population thought that he did. And maybe Lady Lythe was either unable or unwilling to share administrative responsibilities, and was actually running more of Roldez than anybody was willing to think about. And now in hindsight, when you don't have to sleep, you can certainly get a lot of bureaucracy taken care of. But because of that, a rumor starts spreading around in Roldez that the king, at least the original king, would rather just spend all day farming and doing his own thing than running a city, which is closer to the truth than anyone really knows. In fact, he came here because he didn't want to be king, and people didn't really give him the choice.
Yeah, wasn't he a farmer to begin with?
Right. Now his son got, all of his teachings from his father, which is to say none. So he's coming into this now suddenly saddled with more responsibility than he has been trained to. He's only been king for 5 years now, I think. 6 years, maybe? Which is a lot, you'd think, but when you're just basically told by your chief advisor, don't worry, I got this, 9 times out of 10, you don't really build on the job skills. And so there's a bit of, I don't want to say that like Roldez is falling apart, but there's there's growing pains as each faction begins to feel out what can we get away with now that there's no oversight. And with that happening, the Risen Martyr Knighthood is actually asked to do a lot more than they usually do, because now they're being asked to go on regular patrols and break up riot arguments and somewhat propaganda control when it comes to, like, send a couple agents into the bars at nights just to see what people are talking about and whatever, which is not what they really signed up to do.
What about the city guard? And
Right, and the palace guard is kind of focusing more on keeping out the people that are outside with picket signs and protests complaining about the leadership and how they led it come to this. And the city watch is primarily trying to rebuild defenses on the port side of town. And there are lots of rumors now floating around the city that what are they supposed to do if the attack from the ocean happens again? Not to mention, what are they supposed to do if the Lich Queen decides to come back and kill everyone? Because now that people are aware who she was, you know, the younger generation thinks that those are all stories and boogeyman and stuff, and now that it's been proven accurate, people are scared. I was going to start with EJ, but she's not here, so I'm going to paraphrase, I guess, if you can hear me.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Because we're out of the cutscene now.
Okay. Did we ever find out why the Sahuagin attacked?
Not directly, but during the attack offshore, there was a massive blobous, tentacled, eye-stalky looking nasty way outside of city range that seemingly was watching the whole fight. The only connection you can make is that you had just stopped an ocean cult on the Dragonborn Isles that was building a lot of things. Right. And you saw that whole prison thingy that had been somehow evacuated, that frozen prison on that island.
Uh-huh.
Which you still know the teleportation circle access to get there. That's one of the few. There's that one. There's the one on the Dragonborn Isles. And that actually leads me to another thing. The teleporting between the Dragonborn capital and Roldez is in full swing right now, because the only thing that kept it regulated was Lady Lythe's constant protesting that access to Roldez shouldn't be unimpeded like that. And so at least for this week, it has gone relatively unchecked because nobody's put themselves in charge of watching that.
So people are just kind of running around back and forth with whatever. It's like chaos.
Yeah. It really is. Like, that wing of the mage school is just chaotic as heck. So, we'll go to Vanril. Vanril, is there anything you would do personally? I'll move everybody else off the map here. To speak for you, I would guess, as a ranger type, you're not particularly a fan of cities in general.
No.
Not really sure what this token is.
Have you become
like an owlbear?
Like a superhero? Prowling the streets in your mask?
Vigilante.
Vigilante?
That's to blend in with the tree bark.
Right.
Right, because you look like you are tree.
Or it was goblinization.
Well, if you don't have anything that you would do, then I'm going to say that, would you be volunteering to help, or would you be trying to avoid the whole situation?
Probably be less interested in dealing with the whole situation. I mean, I'd probably be more interested in keeping an eye on external threats rather than the internal city politics stuff is just not really
right.
Not really his thing.
Now, you have a house, all of you? It's technically Dura and Avora's house. They were originally planning on going to Avora's home island for a honeymoon, but both have elected to stick around and try to sort through what's going on here in town, at least for now. So they're still home, and I assume, unless told otherwise, that everybody is staying at the house. They all have rooms anyway. But first thing in the morning, Vanriel is off out the walls into the woods, searching for anything that might be lurking in the woods that might take advantage of Roldez when it's having its time of troubles. Is that fair? I'll take that as a yes. All right. Well, again, let's see. We will go to Osric. Now, give me a second. I don't have something sufficiently eerie. That's kind of ominous. It's not really eerie, but it's ominous. No, that's not ominous at all. This is too scary, though. If I do this one. Yeah, can't do that. Can't do that one. How's this? Nope. How about this one? Okay, I'm going to use this. Osric, you... Hold on. Did the background change, I hope?
Yeah.
Okay. You have subtly stealthed your way back into the mage school library. Many, many years ago, you snuck in here to look at the books of less savory magic.
Mm-hmm.
And you had a guide at the time who was helpfully showing you the tricks of the trade. But then at some point in your training, she started to dissuade you that necromancy was not the true path, and it was a dangerous route to go down. And being the most troubled of the orphans, you seem to be the one most likely to try to reimagine yourself now and then. You made a concerted effort to try to get away from this path. And maybe it was the fact that you were trying to learn a school of magic that just wasn't you, or maybe it was the call of the artificer. But you stopped training in wizard altogether for a short time. But with the events that went down last week, you started to rethink your choices. Whether it's because of what Lady Lyth turned out to be, and you're either intrigued or just plain mad, you have decided to look back in and see, what am I missing? What was really going on here? And as you stealth through the library, you hear a clip-clopping of footsteps coming down the hallway, and there's very rarely anybody in this wing of the library. Now, to navigate in the dark, you're fine. You have dark vision, you're a half-elf. But when it comes to actually reading, you need a candle.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're hiding in the alcove, pouring through a tome that's probably bound in something that's not leather, or it's leather, but it's probably not animal leather, and it's got just horrible runes and scrawls and probably written in blood, and it had a big yellow and black police line, "Do not cross" tape around the book, which you've carefully sliced with a knife so you can pulled it back and then reseal it or something. But you hear the footsteps coming. What would you do?
Footsteps coming. I would try to get out of sight somehow.
All right. Blow your candle out.
Oh, yeah.
Candle's out. Make a stealth roll with advantage because it's dark.
So, wait a minute. I wanted to see if I have invisibility first.
Oh, okay.
It looks like I don't. So, yeah, stealth
Okay. Make a stealth roll with advantage
with advantage.
because it's dark.
What the hell's advantage? Oh, I don't have it set to toggle. Hold on.
Now's a good time for everyone else to check to make sure that's set to toggle.
Yep.
16. All right. There is a light at the end of the hallway as you see a candle being carried. As you see a familiar figure walking into the forbidden section of the library. You never see her in the library at all, let alone in the forbidden section of the library. And it doesn't look like she's looking at the bookshelves. It looks like she's looking for someone. And she walks up and down the halls. And her gaze passes right over where you're crouched beneath a short bookshelf. After she makes it to the end of the room and doesn't see you, she audibly sighs. And she turns and she walks back out of the room.
I'm going to wait. Before she walks out of the room, I'll get her attention.
Okay. How?
Grapla,
There you are.
what are you doing here?
A little birdie told me you were down here, and I was concerned.
And I thought I was unseen.
I have my ways. I'm curious why you would find yourself in this wing, young one.
There's still part of me that's curious about the art of necromancy.
Kinda. Make an insight check.
Oh, I had advantage on, but 21 anyway.
Right. Okay, there is a very brief and very subtle and very well hidden shiver just at the word of necromancy and just playing with it. But she plays it off, and anyone else would be fooled. But you can see that just the thought of necromancy seems to chill her a little bit. And she says, I thought that maybe you were following in the artificer path. It's disappointing to see you considering abandoning your new calling.
I don't see any reason why I can't do both.
Well, just be very careful.
What if I told you that I'm trying to discover a way to infuse my artificer creations with actual life force and make them actually become alive? Not just animated, but actually alive.
I would say you're treading a very dangerous path. It is not without merit, I suppose, if done carefully.
I am the very word of caution.
She kind of cocks an eye and just looks up at you, because I'm assuming even though you're younger, she's probably kind of short. I feel like I see an old hunched
Yeah,
Dragonborn lady. Yeah. So she kind of looks up at you, but she cocks an eye ridge. So I'm watching you, Osric, and you have great potential. You must blaze your own trail, I understand. And I am available if you need help. I understand that your recent advisor was, shall we say, questionable.
That's one way to put it. Yeah.
And disagreeable from when I met her. Very well. I will not tell anyone you are here.
I appreciate that. The word
And she-
necromancy is not dangerous. What's dangerous is the person that wields it. I will be careful. I have no ill intentions.
Those are words of wisdom. I am cautiously optimistic. But please be careful.
I will.
And then she turns and she grabs a random book off the shelf. And then as she leaves through the main entrance, you hear her say, I found it right here. It's okay. Because you know
Yeah.
there were librarians and whatnot, security type people outside
yeah.
and try to keep students from coming in here.
Right, that's what I figured. Okay.
Yep.
I'll go back to what I was doing, I guess.
Okay. I really wish EJ was here. So I'm going to play this, and if she's listening, great. If she's not, I'll make sure she listens to it later. As Nevaeh gets called to the Bard School. Oh, what's a good background for this one?
Pornography set.
I'm heading back now.
You are heading back here now?
Yes.
All right. So you are at the Bard School. That doesn't look like a Bard School, but it's going to be the Bard School. Oh, well, you know what? You're heading back now, so I'm going to wait. Actually, I can do Williams first. Oh, what do I have for William? I guess this background will work here too. No, I got it. We'll just go back to this one. William. William, you are just hanging out. Oh, well, first of all, you wanted to speak to someone.
Yeah, Tristan.
Yes. You have to search around for him. He's elusive. And when you finally catch him, he is in his quarters that he shared with Lady Life. And as you walk into the office area, the door is wide open and he is packing. He's filling like 3 different duffel bags full of stuff. And he's kind of standing there, rubbing his chin, looking around like, should I bring that? Yeah, I should probably grab that too. And you walk in and he says, oh, hello, William. To what do I owe the pleasure?
Oh, Tristan, are you going somewhere?
William, it's only a matter of time before I'm either arrested or banished from Roldez, so I'm going to take it upon myself to gather my things and get out on my own terms. It's nothing against you or any of your family. I have to get out of here.
Well,
Guilt by association, if you're curious.
oh, that's too bad.
It is what it is.
Oh, one quick question out of character. You
Sure.
mentioned that the Witch Queen was kind of a cultural phenomenon, a boogeyman of sorts.
Yeah.
So we had heard of her, we just haven't experienced her like older people have, it sounds like.
In fact, most of the older people, the last time she looked like the Lich Queen was before the migration to Roldez from the end of TSNG 2. So it's been 50, 55 years since then. So only the really oldies knew her before. So Garen, King Uric I, and Miranda, seemingly. I mean, she's half-elf, so who knows how long they live. And again, presumably Daybreak, but Daybreak hasn't been around since before the wedding. I don't think he was at the wedding. I don't remember. If not, he hasn't been seen since before then. And that's adding to the talk of what do we do if we get attacked by the sea creatures again if we don't have any powerful magic users here. I mean, Garen's powerful, but he's not level 20 powerful. He's not epic levels 2 centuries plus.
What, not a small diehard contingent that think that Dravok's going to come and save them?
There's a few, and there's a cult of young people that wish that she'd come back and rule as an undead nightmare because they think that's cool and goth, and don't know any better.
Sounds like awesome.
Do they wear red baseball hats?
Make Roldez great again.
Make Roldez Mara. But yeah, make a history roll. Just give me just a straight up history, and I'll see if there's anything. And I guess how much would William dig?
Well, after the event, I guess the other thing I want to ask that I don't remember is how much did we see of her? Like, there was the cutscene, but were we actually
right? So you
undead?
I would say you personally no, because you were still on the hill from the wedding running down. That was more for purposes of the cutscene, but it is very obvious from the chatter in Roldez what happened. Okay. And she's known enough as a boogeyman type that you wouldn't need that much description to know who was being described.
Can you refresh our memories on what exactly happened?
Yeah, so Roldez was under attack by a whole bunch of different sea creatures. You remember the Chul? You remember those those lobster guys?
Mm-hmm.
Right, and it was obviously being led by some kind of creature from beyond. There was a dragon turtle that was almost about to make shore, and another one emerging out in the ocean. So it was looking really bad for Roldez. And then all of a sudden, a meteor swarm doing, I think, nearly 100 points of damage to each target came down, and a retreat was called by whoever was ordering the troops because it suddenly became obvious that maybe this wasn't an easy target, that Roldez was going to put up a fight. And so they retreated, but in so doing, it destroyed her disguise. Dura and Avora are privy to a lot of this information. But knowing Hunter and Amanda, they probably would... Guys, don't tell anybody, I told you this, but, around the dinner table at night.
Mm-hmm.
So you glean that whatever was making her look like an elf was a spell that she didn't cast, or an item that she didn't cast. That part of the stipulation that she would be allowed to serve Roldez was that she wasn't able to cast any spells above 3rd level. She was like Geist to an extent. So she could play administrator, but she couldn't play god. And Dravok had a hand in it, because who else would have that kind of a level of magic to be able to make such a binding kind of device? So the act of casting Meteor Swarm permanently destroyed her disguise. Otherwise, she would have just happily gone back undercover and done the whole thing over again. So she had to blow half a decade's worth of undercover work to save Roldez, it seems. And that's what one of the cults is saying. Obviously, she saved us, she's a hero. And then a bunch of other people are like, do you know who she is? You can't call her a hero in the same sentence. And so it looks like she decided preemptively, I'm leaving, not taking the risk. Which is what Tristan is now explaining to William. He's packing up because if anybody knew her, he lived with her.
Guilty by association.
Yep. And so he's getting his things together and getting out of Dodge, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Someone leave?
Okay.
Okay. I thought I saw the thing change. Do you have anything else to ask him as he's gathering his stuff?
Okay. Yeah. So I think I have a better sense of what
Okay.
like our perspective as the younger people would be, that she was probably sounded like more of a boogeyman, a mythical creature, than a real historical figure to us until.
Right, and then and because of that, part of it's probably like, well, how much of the story is real anyway?
Mhm.
And of everybody enrolled as besides maybe Tristan, I think you and Osric probably had the most one-on-ones with her versus everybody else. I think Dura and Avora ran into her a few times, but I don't think they were getting the scrutiny. Osric was getting training. Osric's attention seemed to be more clinical and interested, whereas yours was more scientific. In hindsight, you start to get the impression that maybe you were more of a test subject or a science project than a mentee. You know, because you are one of 2 warlocks on the entire planet. Tristan being the other. So how it works would be something she would be fascinated by.
Okay. Well, can I ask, where are you going? Are you going to find her?
I don't need to find her. I know where she is. And that's where I'm going, yes. Which is the other reason I need to get out of the city before the City Watch decides to build an army and start marching. When they put me in chains and ask me where to take them there.
I assume I shouldn't ask you where she is.
I'm sure she went home. If you research, you can figure out where that is. There are a few people that still know.
Well, what do you think? Should we try to find her? I mean, how are we going to deal with those 3 sea creatures if they come back?
I don't know. I'm not in communication with her, but I know where she is. And I always know where she is. I'm going to try to tame the more difficult urgings that she'll have now that she's lost her mortality again. She's capable of some fearsome rage. I think the spell that Daybreak helped cast or craft tempered a lot of the worst that the centuries of rot has done to her brain, to her thoughts, to her reasoning, her rationality.
Oh, wow.
William, do you know how Roldez got destroyed in the first place?
Was it demons or?
Yes, it was a demon lord. Do you know who his primary lieutenant was when he took over and destroyed Roldez? I will give you one guess.
Out of character, I know, because I read the book. You magnificent bastard, I read your book.
Yeah.
But in character, William guesses. I'm gonna guess it was, Lady Lythan?
Yes. That was a long time ago. Almost 200 years, I think. And a lot has happened since then. Your guess is as good as mine where she is mentally now. But I need to get up there as soon as I can, partially to save myself from the witch hunt here, and partially to hopefully keep her from deciding that Roldez is not worth existing.
You know what she thinks or what she might do, or?
I think right now, in the short term, I don't think there's any danger to Roldez. And I think if I can get there quickly, I can keep it that way. Let's hope. Cross your fingers. She is prone to occasional bouts of chaos for someone who's so orderly. And again, I think it's the undead nature that does that to a person.
Necromancy.
She's not a bad. She's not a bad person, but
Necromancy.
I don't know. Yes, exactly.
Necromancy corrupt.
I was gonna say you're looking right at Brian.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he is.
I saw you leaning into the screen.
Oh,
Necromancy doesn't kill people. People kill people.
yeah. That's it.
well, I hope you'll be okay. I hope she'll be okay too. That sounds awful to have your brain rotting and feel it. That's a weird thing to say, isn't it? But I mean,
I think in the past she was a good person, but whatever happened,
is
it happened.
there any way we can help? Or
Short of finding a way to change her back into an elf, I have nothing.
I'm going to guess people thought of that before and weren't able to do it. I mean, if Dravok was involved, then they weren't able to resurrect her?
Make an insight check.
Wow, it actually worked.
He says, he just kind of chuckles at your comment, but you can tell he's hiding something. Like he's holding something back.
I mean, I guess, well, actually, I think maybe I can resurrect. I can do revivify at least.
I don't think it's that simple, William. I think the process to become a lich, it's permanent.
I should.
Short of
Well,
a
and
god
you-
intervening, I don't know what else we could do.
The gods, you said?
Yeah, sort of an intervention by a higher power.
Bob.
You know, that gives me an idea.
Uh-oh.
But
William's got an idea.
Well, it's up to the higher powers, I guess, not exactly me, but,
That is true, William. And if you don't mind, I have a long trek ahead of me, so I need to get going.
sorry. Yeah.
Walk me to the gates.
Well, let me just say, maybe that's actually possible. Higher powers intervening.
He kind of just chuckles. He says, I don't know. I don't know if you have a direct line to the risen martyr or who you're planning on talking to. If Regic the Masked One is in your pocket, then but you're a better man than I.
I'm not entirely sure, really, but there's someone involved. I'll just say that.
Well, he pats you on the shoulder as you get to the city gates, and he says, William, it's been great meeting you. I hope we meet again under better circumstances. I really do.
Me too. Stay safe. I hope things turn out well for both of you, as good as they can turn out.
I'll tell her you said you send your greetings.
Even if she always Maybe I knew some. Can't say I knew about the witch, but maybe I felt something of it. I don't know. There was always something a little creepy at the same time as. But she didn't really seem like a bad person. Like you said, if you know what I mean.
I do. He says, "Well," he claps you on the shoulder with both shoulders. Looks you straight in the eyes. He says, "You're a good lad, William. Keep your head on your shoulders.
Thanks.
We can't help you anymore. So you're on your own from here."
Okay then. Well, good luck to you.
And then he marches off. I'm going to grab a drink real quick, and I'm not done with you yet, William.
Uh-oh.
I'll be right back, too.
Oh, we're level 10. That's why some of the skills are so high.
Okay. All right. Well, Edra's here, so as soon as she sits down, we'll switch over to hers for a minute. We'll bring Nevaeh and Enrico. And I did not go back and listen to his accent. I know it was like somewhere between Italian and Spanish. I don't. Spitalian.
Steel Spitalian.
But you have received a message, Nevaeh, from the Bard College requesting your presence. And as you enter into the office, assume you can hear me. As you enter into the office of Enrico, he stands up and he gives you a deep bow. And he says, Nevaeh, I am so glad that you have come to talk to me. I know that you are so important and special. And so that you could take a minute of your busy time to come to see little old Enrico here in the Bard College where you got your start. It is a beautiful thing. Yes?
We finally came up with a potion.
Sure.
So I wanted to ask you a few things. You know that the city has had its issues lately. And so I decided we would put together a benefit concert to bring people from the other cities around, the towns, I guess, and maybe the more wealthy and Roldez to chip in a bit more of their money if I set up a show or a concert to bring in some revenue to help with the rebuilding. What do you think?
That would really, really depend on whether or not people are still scared or still worried about the dead that, they might have been related to. How scared they are, whether or not it's going to come back.
Well, yes, but that is the power of music, is to lighten moods.
Half of these people lost almost everything.
I understand this.
So why would they put money into benefiting and replacing something else when they still need to replace?
No. I think you misunderstand. The money is to help rebuild the city, help the people that are poor, that are homeless now. It is to help. We will use our musical talents to raise the people up, to make them cheerful.
You and I, or...
You and I and others that have the talent that you and I have. I was thinking maybe you could open for Psychic Fish.
I raise my hand as if to slap him in the face and then close it.
I
Slowly.
is this a problem?
That used to be my band. We had a disagreement on the name, and I left.
So then I suppose I shouldn't show you the poster that we made for this concert?
Not if you want me to be in it.
Oh. He unrolls something on his desk and he looks at it, but he doesn't show it to you. And it's this gorgeous psychic fish poster.
It's a pretty fish, but fuck you.
So sad.
Yeah, it's a sad fish because I'm not singing for them anymore.
Or disappointed.
It's sad fish because it's psychic and it's seen Roldez's future.
That too.
Where's the
Come on,
brain splitting out of its head?
It's hard, right? Night Cafe doesn't understand exactly what I'm trying to tell it.
I think that came out really good, though.
I know.
Definitely has the psychedelic vibe.
Should we look at this poster when we're high? Because
Oh, look, there's Earth in the background there.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a made-up planet. Well, I caution you, these are going up all over town right now.
I
As we
refuse.
speak.
No, I refuse to open for them because that means that I am lesser than them, and that is not true because I was the one that invited those guys to come sing with me.
I have an idea. Psychic Fish featuring Nevea. Huh? Come on.
I smell a reunion.
I'll cut you in for 10% of the profits.
Featuring is a little bit better than opening for, but do we even know each other's songs now?
Well, that's not really my job. You'd have to get with your old band members for that one.
Oh, yay.
With Stab and, what was it, Wagon Wheel or whatever his name was.
If he says he wants me to collaborate with them, I'm gonna... Anyway. Set up a meeting, and I can discuss.
Oh, joy.
This is not a yes.
This is going to be the biggest show of this century.
I will talk.
That is all I ask. That is all I ask. It is a good poster, though. I really like it. I paid a lot for it.
It's not a bad poster.
Right? I've been sitting on that for a few days. All right. We go back to William. William, you are sitting alone. Nope, that's the wrong one. That's Forest. I want Waterkeep Night. Sitting outside in Roldez, in one of your favorite spots, on a battlement overlooking the sea. Right? Not in nobody's way, not on a main thoroughfare or anything. There are people walking around, but it's a place where you like to just go and sit and think. Right? And as you're seated on the battlement, kind of kicking your feet over the edge, the moonlight shining down over you, you sense a familiar presence seated on the battlements next to you. As a glowing young woman just kind of sits also kicking her feet. The people passing by will occasionally say, "Hello, William. Good evening. Good night. Nice to see you. How's your day?" Completely ignoring the fact that she's there. And she just kind of sits. Sometimes will put a reassuring hand on your shoulder. But otherwise just kind of maintains a presence. And today, having been the day that Tristan left kind of abruptly, or at least to you abruptly, you didn't know how long he'd been planning this, and you didn't really have time to ask all the questions. And of course, after he left, you thought of 8 more that you wished you could have asked.
All the time.
It happens all the time. And you're sorting. You're the youngest of the bunch. So I'm projecting maybe. Tell me if I do anything you wouldn't do. But she suddenly cuts through the silence and says something uncharacteristic for her. She says, "William, your mother is proud of you."
How? Why? And how do you know?
I see her sometimes.
Oh, that's how you know she's still alive. How do you see her? Does she see you the same way I see you?
Kind of hides a smile, but not well. And she says, "We speak. Not as often as I speak with you, but she speaks to me. It's difficult to answer her at times, and it's getting harder. I don't know how much longer I'll be able to get through, or if she's even going to make it. Things are changing fast for her now, William."
Why? What's causing her? What's going on?
She kind of almost goes into like a trance. Like she stops moving for a minute and her eyes just fix into the sea, almost like she's elsewhere. Like her body's here, but she's seeing elsewhere. As she stares off, she says, "It's dark, always dark. Her room is small. It echoes when she speaks. It's cold. She has only one friendly voice nearby, but not close. They talk, but there's no joy. Sorrow. I think she's going to give up. It's taken so much, but too much. She sees me. No, that was something else." She kind of comes to and looks at you. She says, "William, she is not doing well."
Why? What? It sounds like she's alone, but what's happening to her?
She's far away, and it's hard for me. I can't see more than feel. I know that there's someone that comes to her with ill intention frequently. Pain? This pain. She didn't want you to know, but I think she doesn't have long left, William. I think she needs your help.
Do you know where she is?
I get it's long, it's far. A name. Darum?
The city, Darren?
Maybe? Does it ring a bell to you?
I'm assuming I've heard of that city.
Make a history check. Yeah, EJ's camera's freaking out. Lovely.
She's working on the effects lighting for the concert. That's all.
Yes. I wonder if it
out
got...
of game.
Wow.
But
Yeah, you have studied up on it. Maybe when you were doing some Lady Lithe research, you learned that Darum was the city where Hurik was from, where Garen was from, or from nearabouts. It was like kind of like a sister city to Roldez. Back when the human kingdom dominated the entire continent and not, the quarter that it has now. And there hasn't been regular communication with Darum in a long time.
but we don't necessarily know. As far as we know, it's still populated, but we just haven't heard from it in a while.
Right.
Okay.
Right. The general assumption for those who even know what Darum is that they are their own self-sufficient kingdom and they're so far away. It's, no, there's no trade because there's a land mass in between. So there's no ship sailing back and forth.
Okay. So probably Darum then. That's probably a big area, but it's somewhere to start. Can you tell her that I'm coming?
My communication with her does not work the same as it does with you. I can try, but she needs to open the doorway. I can't initiate. So if she reaches out to me, I will let her know, but I fear that would make her despair more than happy. I think she wants you to be safe, and I think she wants you to forget about her.
Yes, she...
But I don't want you to forget about her, William.
Well, I can't be happy if something's happening to her. I haven't even...
If you know where Darum is, can you go and get her? I'm sorry, I don't work in those same ways.
I can try.
I feel like Darum is familiar to me, she kind of says. The name rings a bell.
Out of character questions, I know I don't think the ghost lady has identified herself to me. Does she?
I don't think she
given the
has.
impression she doesn't know who she herself is?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. And it seems like sometimes she doesn't seem she's a ghost either.
Okay.
She just takes it as normal that people don't talk to her, but she doesn't really acknowledge that the things that she can do or say are different or weird.
Mm-hmm. Though we have gotten hints that she is at least related to the Blessed Lizbeth, the Blessed Daughter, and previously Min, I believe.
Yeah, something along those lines, yep. She's picked up Min's pantheon anyway, or the Blessed Daughter has picked up Min's pantheon.
Okay, yeah. And do I or she know my mother's name?
I don't think you do. That's why I asked you and you didn't know. So I'm going to say that you don't.
Do you know then? This is in character. Do you know her name? My mother's name?
No. I've never asked. Huh. She knows mine. Or she calls out to me somehow.
What does she say when she calls out to you?
She speaks like a chant or a phrase, and I am called to her. I'm not there for the calling, but I feel the call.
Listen. Well, I know someone who may know her name, but that would help me find her. But
I think you should try. She again puts her hand on your arm.
I will. Well, I'm still worried about Roldez and about Lady Wise, but which of those things is most important, do you think?
She kind of leans over because you're both sitting on the battlement thing. So she kind of leans over so she can look up at you like directly, even though you can turn. But there's something about the intensity that she's trying to get. Says mother, I don't think your mother has long enough for you to make that decision. I think they might be connected, but I'm not sure how. It's a feeling mostly.
Well, your feelings have been, I think, right. So,
And then she kind of suddenly gets this like, her eyes kind of dart off past you, like they just focus. I have to go.
all
And
right.
before you can say anything, she just starts to go translucent.
I will.
And she disappears. Occasionally someone walking by sees you talking to yourself and you just get the clap on the shoulder and the, "Good night, William." It seems like people are kind of, generally, they just accept that that's you. I mean, you guys are level 10. That's technically Hero of the Realm status.
Oh, yeah, that's just William who talks to himself.
And then she fades away.
Well, I think most of us know you're not talking to yourself, too, really.
William the Mad. Oh, wait.
Yeah. So you head home that night with more questions than answers. And everybody of the family that is here today shows up. Dura and Avora are having a date night, maybe, and cannot make it tonight. But the other 5 of you are sitting around the kitchen table having your usual evening meal. And this is an opportunity, if you have any catching up or what you want to talk about. I'm going to concede the floor.
So and Castor are dad is at his tavern still.
Papa. Well, no, he lives at the tavern down the street.
Okay. Because I'll need to talk to him, but I guess William will say, so, what's going on with you guys?
Just working on my tinkers and increments.
I'm sorry,
Nice.
Oh, nothing. I said something about decorating.
Oh, your alchemy?
Yeah, that. Yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
You know, you
Necromancy.
really should get that sneeze looked at.
Yeah, well, I've always been sickly, I guess. I'm working on ideas, theories. I don't want to delve too much into it, but it involves blending the worlds of
There we go.
the mechanical and the automaton with the living and bringing those together.
Oh.
Making Warforged.
That's actually,
It's come up.
we have talked about Osric being the first to make Warforged in this setting.
Depending on how far we go.
Mhm.
The secret ingredient is mayonnaise.
Jesus.
He can make an alchemy jug with his artificer.
Yeah, I can actually. It's on my
Yogurt,
character sheet.
because at least that's still alive.
That's true. It wouldn't take that much. It wouldn't take as much effort as this complicated.
You put sentient yogurt in a battle mech suit.
Yeah,
It
there you go.
Sorry, I had to.
Gross.
Oh, that sounds cool. Nevaeh, how about you?
Do you know what that idiotic Italian little son of a...
There's no Italy.
Yeah.
You actually don't know where he's from.
Foreign piece of...
Language, Nevaeh. Language.
It reminds me of that swordsman in Game of Thrones, the Sword of
Yeah.
Davos or something like that.
Oh, yep.
You know what
Where you learned from
the little dude?
the instructor that Arya learned how to sword fight
Yeah.
from. Yeah, that's who that guy reminds me of.
Good things and bad things when I talk to him at the school, okay? You ready?
What happened?
He wants to put on a benefit concert, okay? Which I think is fine, to raise money for the rebuilding of Roldez, okay? Everywhere, for helping out the families who lost their homes, down by the bay or whatever, okay? But he had the nerve to ask...
Ooh, bad timing.
to ask me if I would open for Psychic Fish.
Oh, they're great.
Oh, I bet that went over well.
Venril is getting the death stare right now.
Oh no, he didn't.
He says that he will change the posters. Yes, he's made posters! That says Psychic Fish featuring Nevaeh, not Nevaeh's opening for them. I'm like, okay,
Wasn't that better?
Oh, no, not really. I mean, I almost hit him. He's going to set up a meeting, and I'm going to talk to Psychic Fish and see if maybe we can do this together. I will not open for them. I am not lesser than they are. I
Well, it
sound like a
doesn't mean
prince.
you're lesser than they are. It just
no,
means
yes,
you're
it
not
does.
as famous as they are.
See, I sound like a princess here, but I made them.
Ah, sounds like a little LV syndrome.
We had a disagreement on the name of the
Lead
band.
vocalist syndrome.
I was the lead singer, yes, but
Yep. Now it's all adding
The
up.
singer's great.
I throw my steak knife in Vanro's direction.
Ooh, we dodged. I saw that.
Osric is going to shut up now because he doesn't have as many hit points as Vanderbilt.
But I don't know who is going to come or whether or not we're even going to agree to sing together like just this once. I mean, for a benefit, yes, it's for the people. It is not for Psychic Fish. It is for our town. It is for the place we live in, you know, but like... I don't know.
See, this situation is upsetting you.
If you don't want to do it, don't do it.
It's not that I don't want to do it. What
I've
happens
read
if we
my
do get
stuff.
people to show up? You know, it's a benefit concert. Any money that we get is going to go towards Roldez, and that is a wonderful sentiment. But I haven't talked to Psychic Fish since I left.
How long ago would that have been?
I think the band happened while you guys were on Dragonborn Isle. I'm pretty sure, because you guys came back from Kimberlane with the Dwarven Fortress underground there and the Aboleth fight. Told everybody about the Aboleth fight, which inspired her band to name it Psychic Fish while you were away. And when you came back, they'd already become somewhat famous.
Yeah, right? You know, thanks for the discussion. Thanks for bringing me in on that. Yeah.
Well, maybe you don't need to be with them. Maybe you could be separate events or something like that. Maybe it could be a multi-band thing.
I suppose if it's a multi-band thing, I might need people to play with me. Back my eyes at William and his, musical ability.
Well, I'm not great. I wish I were better, but I can try.
Are the dirty liars in town?
No. Maybe
That
later.
Pretty Little Liars.
Pretty Little Liars.
That would be amazing. I would love to sing with the Pretty Little Liars.
Who knows?
The Who?
Yeah, you don't know who they are.
Imagine she's
No,
a
not the
better
Who.
singer.
Pretty
Just
Little
saying.
Liars. Oh, snap.
Maybe we'll find out.
Gauntlet has been thrown down.
Well, I guess we'll see how the stupid talk goes. I will be respectable, big brother. I will be fine. My face will say it all. I mean...
Yeah, just as long as you don't stab them. Not everyone can dodge like Finro.
You're right. You're right. I will keep my sharp implements at home.
And not everyone can resist your insults, like, what, can anyone?
Well, that depends on if I add a little magic with those insults.
That's what I mean.
I will not be adverse to adding a little magic to suggestions.
I would be careful with that.
Yeah, they're gonna find out about. Yeah, they're gonna find out about 5 minutes later. Yeah, I know.
They don't tend to be too friendly afterward.
That's only if they were unfriendly to begin with.
Not necessarily.
I think the glamour. Yeah, I think the glamour bard has abilities that like cheer up an audience and stuff like that, but don't necessarily do harmful effects. And so,
so it's not the same as like casting charm person,
right?
Like
I think there's something that I haven't looked, and I don't know if it's a 2014 thing or a 2024 thing, but there's like an enthralling performance or something like that.
Oh yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
That
I believe
don't
so. Oh, you
think
can-
they become aware of at the end. I think it's just.
I don't know how long it
I could be
lasts.
misremembering, but
Well, hope that goes well.
For Roldez's sake, I hope so too.
How about you, Osbright, or what have you been up to?
Installing this new door.
I forgot about the door.
Oh, was it Dura or Evora this time?
Pretty sure it was Evora.
It was both of them, actually.
Oh, let's say I thought it was Dura, but I wasn't sure.
I don't want to ask how it came off its hinges, but it did, and they were
I
both
feel like this
involved.
is a scene that's just going to keep playing out. Like Osbright fixes the door, one of them tears it down again. A couple days later, he puts it back up.
there's a stash of doors in the garage. Like
They also busted their
he buys them in bulk.
We stockpiling doors.
I have to
They have
fix
like
that as
Klingon
well.
stock. Yeah. Oh yeah. Might as well just put the mattress on the floor at this point. You've also been kept pretty busy with the knights trying to help dictate what is and isn't in the jurisdiction of the knighthood. And again, being level 10, you've risen in the ranks of the Risen Martyrs, and they're probably eyeballing you for a command position somewhere at some point. Whether it's been discussed with you.
But yet, here I am.
Yep. Well, I mean, otherwise, how are you playing in the game?
Yeah,
You know.
I know.
I see William stalling, asking how everybody else is.
Hey, I can always.
Everybody, make an insight check.
And how about Vanderil? What are you doing?
You know, at this point, I wouldn't even make you roll the insight check. It's very William is uncharacteristically interested in everybody else's.
Oh, that was hard.
Yeah, I would say William is being very uncharacteristically curious about everybody else's day. Like something's eating at him, but he doesn't know how to bring it up.
Oh, look at that. Nevaeh has an ability that named after Majesty.
Yeah, that's why I had said to you, I'm surprised you didn't go Glamour Bard, because it's an ability named after you.
I just want to roll it and see.
All right, William, out with it. What's on your mind?
They probably have advantage knowing him.
Right.
Oh, well, I need to get to Durham fast.
You say Durham and fast.
Yeah, I mean...
Durham on the other side of the continent.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but does it really matter if there's a teleportation circle? Surely
Oh, if there is one, no. Is there one? Do we know what we know?
You have no idea.
No.
Well, it's a
If there
major
is.
settlement, so I would hope.
It's possible. What? I could inquire around the wizard wizard college, but what do you need to go there for?
Wouldn't King Yurik or one of the older folks know where it is?
Good
Garen might.
We could go to the library and search old maps.
From where Durham is? Durham, yeah. It's on every map that you would have that's the whole continent, but they're all old maps.
Yeah, the issue is, does it have a teleportation circle, and does someone know it? But,
right.
Well, it wasn't what's his name there? The ogre mage, orc mage. What's his name?
Draybuck?
Hey, that's the one. Wasn't he from there? So he's magic, right? So there's got to be a teleportation circle.
Yeah, true. But nobody's seen him for a while, I think.
I mean, he is pretty old.
Well, I mean, around here. I don't mean he's dead. He's obviously dead, but
Why do you need to go to Durham?
well, I think my mom is there, and I think she's in trouble.
What makes
Wait,
you say that?
yeah.
Well, my friend said that.
Oh, the voice in your head that you talk to?
Yeah.
It's not a voice.
Okay.
He says it's a little girl.
Could be
Well.
anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she's related to the blessed daughter, or the beloved daughter, or somehow, maybe.
Oh,
Hopefully.
your mom or the little girl?
The girl. I mean.
Oh.
Ooh, I wonder if the blessed daughter had a sister.
Did you say what kind of trouble?
No, she couldn't tell. Just someone. She's alone and in despair, and there's someone bad talking to her.
Someone bad talking to her? Like someone, like the person that talks to you but bad and not good?
Maybe, or maybe she's in jail or something, or
I wonder why she'd be in jail, though. But, like, honestly, guys, if I knew that, like, an actual honest-to-God blood family member was in trouble, I'd have so many questions, and I'd want to go find them. William, do you want to go find them? Is this your way of asking for help?
well, I mean, yes, but well, it's a lot to ask, and we do have a lot else going on. Like, what'll happen to Roldez with crazy the sea creatures that may or may not be related to Torgarod and Lady Live, and maybe we should go find her. And
I'm not worried about finding her right now. I don't think she's what we have to worry about at the moment.
no, I hope not. Or well, I also talked to Tristan about her, and well, he's going to find her, but I wonder if she could help against the sea critters, or if we should find Dravok or something.
We don't even know if the sea creatures are going to attack again. It could have been a one-time thing.
She did some pretty big damage to them, and I think unless somebody is worshiping them anymore, they might not come back. I don't think we should focus on that right now. I think we should focus on trying to rebuild the town to make it safer, make it better. And if Tristan is leaving to go find her, like 100%, he's the only human who has lived more than he should have. Like, seriously. Then he'll find her, and hopefully they'll both be okay. Half the people in the town know that she was the one that saved us. The other people, who cares what they think?
And I don't think she'll be showing her face around here anyway.
Not for long. Not for long. With all these oldies, they're gonna, like, lynch mob her.
Right.
Oh, it sounds more like she would be able to burn them all if they tried, but
She can now, but for all this time that she's been here, didn't Tristan say she was like, I don't know, I feel like he would say she was trying to be good or something.
true.
Not that I'm going to forgive her for trying to kill you, but
Well, I mean, I just wondered if she could help, and
she's
mean, she
definitely
did.
strong enough to, but I don't think we should. I don't think we should go to her first after what happened.
I
No.
guess. It seems weird to say this when she always kind of freaked me out, but I hope she's okay. But she's definitely not in as much trouble as my mom, it sounds like.
She can definitely handle herself, and if Tristan is going to find her, then whatever she can't handle, they can handle together. They have been together for, I've been told, ages.
About 20 years.
That's ages.
Yeah,
At our age, yes.
yeah.
Out of
Well-
character, I always thought that she spelled him or was just flirting with him just so that she could use his warlock magic.
Sort of.
Oh, my character hated her. Hated her.
I don't remember what your character's name was. That's why that one hasn't been showing up in this campaign.
You were Tristan's sister, were you?
Yes, I
Right.
was. I can find the character, I'm pretty sure.
That would be a good band name.
Tristan's sister. Sister Tristan.
Yes! Alright, I'm gonna
Sister
post
Tristan.
flyers. Bandmates wanted.
Oh, time has come.
Hey, maybe you can get Miranda to play with you.
What is it with NPCs that are bards? Oh, yeah, it's me. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know if Miranda would. Isn't she busy right now?
She's in Roldez. You know that much.
Should we all try out for the audition?
Band game part 2.
Well, anyway, if I want to try to find her, but this might take a while and it might be dangerous, but if any of you would be willing to help me, I'd really
We laugh in the face of danger. Ha ha ha!
Anyway, I can talk to Garen and see if he knows anything about a quicker way to get there than overland. What time of day is it?
It's evening now. You guys are getting... It's late.
Oh, yeah.
It's like dinner time. You had dinner. Now you're sitting around in the living room where there's no TV, so you just talk.
So I would wait. There's no what? How's that possible? I thought there was always TV.
Nope. Sorry.
So yeah, I'll have to wait till morning.
You stare at the campfire and you talk about your day.
My day was watching TV. What are you talking about?
All right, so you go to bed, you sleep a full night. It's great. You wake up and you... What do you want to do? You're going to talk to Garen?
The next day, yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll say it's the next morning. You're going to head off to the mage school, check in with Garen, and see if you can learn some stuff. So let's pull everybody else off the map. We just
If anyone wants to come with me, they can. Like, I don't know, maybe William wants to come with me.
We'll do this backdrop because it looks good for mage school.
Well, I also want to talk to Castor, but that can probably wait. I probably will come along to talk to Garen.
Oops, did that look really out of
Castor's our dad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The backdrop looks out of focus. Oh, there we go. So is anyone going with Osric?
William said he would.
Oh, William is going. Okay. How did you drag yourself from the nether region? I guess you can grab it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Okay.
grabbed another region.
That's cool. This is another reason to be on Jumpgate. the fact that I can pull everything off the map. If you could see the chaos that is my screen right now with all the backdrops and all the tokens around the outside of the center square, it's nice that I can even do that, because before, what you had on the tabletop was all you had access to. And there's a lizard following you around. Okay, so you head to the school, and there's your crow and your lizard, or Vanro's lizard spying on you. And as you head up to the school and request an audience with Garen, it is never a problem. And that is my Garen image I made yesterday.
Ooh, dwarfy.
Not bad, not bad.
And he agrees to meet you in his office. And as you come in, he's like, "Oh," he just puts his drink down, because you got to be drinking if you're a dwarf. What do I owe pleasure
always
of it?
drinking.
And William.
That's a racist comment.
It almost drove me to stop drinking.
We may have some business to conduct in Darrow.
Cocks an eyebrow, a big old bushy eyebrow. What kind of business would you have in Durham? That's no good business, if you ask me. Nothing
Why
can
is
come
that?
of that. Because Mrs. Wright is a terrible woman. There's a reason why we left that city.
Who's Mrs. Wright? Is that the one that runs the place?
Yeah. The Queen of Durham, Arthur Hurick Wright's wife.
Oh, okay.
Our ex-wife.
So our king was married to her?
Yes.
Huh.
For all of a few months. And then they couldn't agree on how to run a city. So he said, well, I don't want to run a city anyway. I'm going back home to North Point. And started marching all the way down the coast and all the way across the land bridge and all the way up to whatever. And by the time he got to Roldez, he had a few thousand people following along because they also wanted to follow him because he was a hero after the second TSNG campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And so he stopped in Roldez because he realized at this point, these people are going to follow me to North Point and it's going to overrun the town. So I guess this is as far as I go.
Well, I think my mom might be there, and she might be in trouble.
Why would your mom be in Durham?
I don't know.
Well, I don't think it's going to be much of a problem because I don't think there's any way to get there quickly from here. Make an insight check.
You can't get there from here.
You mean there's no teleportation circle?
He's holding something back. He says, no, we never established one. Durham was a very young city when I left. And we never had reason to communicate with Durham, so we never established a circle with them. If they have one, we don't know it. EJ, did you go too? I didn't think you went.
Oh, maybe not.
No, you're not here. Yeah,
You know of anyone that might know of a quicker way to Durham?
Make a persuasion. I will allow it.
Of all the things.
If I can, at least, or I can... Wow, that was bad. Yeah, surely someone knows. I mean, you haven't been there, or Dravok hasn't, or...
Oh, I've been there, but not in the last 50 years. I can't speak for Dravok. He does weird things. For all I know, he checks in there every Saturday for a drink with the bitch. But that's his problem, not mine. But nope, I'm afraid I don't think there's any way to get over there, and that's probably a good thing. You don't completely believe him.
Oh.
What are you holding back from us?
Look, I'm trying to protect you. We left there because Denise was listening to people that she shouldn't be. And we're pretty sure that she may have been treating with some form of evil. And instead of trying to get to the bottom of it, root it out, fight it, after all we'd been through, everyone just decided it was easier. She was set in her ways that we would just move on and hope for the best. Now, I'm not saying it's connected, but we used to get attacked by undead at least once a month here in Roldez. And Lady Lythe took it on herself to make sure that the city was protected, almost on a personal level. If you don't know her history, she briefly worked with said evil that I mentioned. And then she betrayed him, which allowed the Dark Stranger and the Masked One to get the drop on our enemy and foil his plans. I don't know how powerful this creature was, but if she had a healthy respect for him, then I would wager he's not a pushover. Make another persuasion. Give me your saddest puppy dog eyes persuasion rolls as you just kind of sit there and look at him like, "Aw."
Well,
Oh
apparently
my
I'm not
God.
sad enough.
Well, it's not your mom. I'm going to give William advantage.
He wants this. Well, I'm going to go regardless, so I might as well know. I mean, she's my mom. I have to. I have to help.
Look, William, I'm not without a heart. I understand what you're saying. I said there was no teleportation circle to Durham, and I wasn't lying. There is one to Cobbler's Knob, however, which is just 15 miles south of Durham. But you're going to have to find Jado, or perhaps Miranda if she's available. It was a network of teleportation circles connected to a tavern chain called the Dubious Virgin. I believe your father's house was the previous Roldez franchise location. Which means the chances are the teleportation circle is in your barn. But you still need to know the corresponding circle to make it work. I highly advise you don't go. You'd be walking into a dangerous snake pit at this point. After 40 years, I can't imagine what she's turned into. Or what that place has become.
He's talking about
Denise.
the king's ex-wife?
King's wife, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I've been in dangerous snake pits before. I guess this could be different.
Maybe it's not that bad.
Maybe not. Time heals all wounds, as they say, and it's been at least 50 years. Maybe.
Do you know anyone who has been there recently and would know what's going on?
Nope. Not a clue. And any information that would have come out of there usually passed through Lady Lythe, and she kept a tight leash on it. So I would suspect nothing good. I believe the Risen Martyrs think that some of the undead that attack are from that coast. Maybe not from Durham specifically, but from that region.
Maybe they would know something.
Perhaps.
And actually, do I have Arcana? No. Well, I suppose I can ask around, but thank you.
If I see Miranda, I'll tell her you're looking for her.
And we need this Jado too.
He is an elusive target, and we haven't seen him in quite some time either. I would avoid talking to him if you can. Although technically you've met him in character.
That's because Jeremy
yeah,
doesn't
A
want to.
long time ago.
He's been.
When you were doing that recon mission onto Rillian the island, way back at like your third or fourth mission of TSNG, he was already there scoping it out. And you fought a bearded devil, I think, or something like that.
Dirty thief.
A long time ago. It's all recorded somewhere.
So, does anyone know where Dravok is right now?
No, but I did hear he was going on some kind of a personal mission. And I have no idea where he went from there.
Is there any way to contact him?
I have tried ascending or two, but he hasn't responded. Or message, whatever the spell is, the higher level one. Not because of Durham, but because of this whole situation.
Yeah.
It is a bit troubling that he's not responding. Perhaps a subject for another one-shot.
I'm worried about that too, and
It's not yours to worry about. One problem at a time, William. You're taking too much on your shoulders.
We can't solve all the world's problems.
Unless we make an
Well,
army of Warforged.
Not all at once, anyway. Well, yeah. That'll be down the road.
About that. Well, thank you.
Anytime.
I'll ask around.
If you're hell-bent on doing this, I'll see if I can scrounge together some equipment for your mission. That might make things a little easier.
Thank you, and yeah, I'll make sure to be careful. I do have some pretty good siblings.
If you take them all with you, then you're going to have to hurry because we need the likes of you here just in case another attack happens. If I see Miranda, I'll send her to your house.
Thank you. Thank you,
All right, Garen. We appreciate it.
Of course. He stands up, shakes your hand. How's your training going, William?
I
mean, sorry, he wouldn't say William. He would say Osric. Sorry, I'm still curious about this whole artificer thing.
It's going well. Yes. Still learning all the time.
Grepla getting on your nerves?
No, I'm used to her.
How is that possible?
She's almost like a cantankerous grandmother figure to me. You know.
She's a pain in my ass, is what she is.
Yeah.
She's underfoot all the time.
She's an acquired taste.
I guess.
I don't know. Maybe she just has a soft spot for me.
She does seem to like you. For good or for ill.
I prefer to think for good.
All right. Well, I have things to do. I am a headmaster, after all. Been good seeing you both. I hope things go better.
All right. Thanks again.
And
Thank
he
you.
closes his office behind you, and you hear him saying, "Boy's going to get himself killed." All right. Do you want to go anywhere else? Does anyone else have anything they want to do?
I did want to, if I'm not already taking up too much screen time, I would like to go talk to Castor and see if he knows
Okay.
my mom's name.
Right. Where did I put the cool house you were just in? Oh, well. I lost it.
I might as well go there with you too.
Sure.
I mean, technically, we all could go there for that one.
Oh, no. Roldez is on fire again.
And I'm sure the meeting
Oh,
with
wait.
Psychic Fish doesn't have to be this evening. It could be.
It won't be for a while, honestly. That's probably not within the scope of this one shot.
It's probably good because I might have to write down what I want to say.
Yeah. All right. So Garen's not there. You guys go here. You meet with Father. I'm going to try to start smoothing things out just a little bit because it is 9:15, and there's a point I want to get to before we stop. But he welcomes his boys in. I think, Osric, are you the second youngest, or was Nevea? Do you remember? You probably don't remember. It's been a long time.
I think I was one of the older ones.
Oh, maybe. You might be right.
I think.
Vora's pretty young because Dragonborn mature earlier, but he's happy to see you. He welcomes you in. He has a seat and asks what's brought you boys to see me.
I look at William.
Well, it is always nice to see you, but partly out of character, we're in a hurry, but partly in character, we're kind of in a hurry. But there's something bothering me.
Just business today, Dad?
It's hard to explain why, but I think my mom's in trouble and she may be in Durham.
William, your mom's been gone for a long time. I would guess. He kind of hesitates. It's like, William, I wouldn't get your hopes up.
She's alive. I know it.
He doesn't seem to be surprised when you said Durham. He just seems to be surprised that you think she's alive. And I should have made you make an insight roll. Whatever.
I probably would have failed it, but
Osric might have made it.
actually, with how I'm rolling sometimes tonight,
Yeah.
well,
With how Osric's rolling, maybe not.
Yeah.
well, I have weird ways of knowing, but I know she's alive, but she's in trouble, and I have to get to her, but I don't even know her name. What's her name?
Her name was Sheena. She was a war cleric of the risen of the Blessed Mother, the Blessed Daughter. Sorry.
Okay, Sheena.
She was a strong-willed woman, but noble. I knew her before you were born for a few years. That's why she brought you to me when she had her special mission.
Special mission? Where did she go?
Well, like you said, she was being sent to Durham for something. But she wouldn't tell me what. And I frankly didn't ask. She said she had a quick quick operation to perform, and she'd be right back. And she never returned. So, William, it's a dangerous place, and I hope you're not thinking about going there. You're not going to find anything good. My boy, you have a perfectly good home here. You have a family. A city that needs you.
I do. It's not that, though. It's important. I can feel it. Like, it may even be the Blessed Daughter's telling me this. I'm not sure, but I have to find her. And I know it sounds like Durham, as people all say bad things about Durham, and I know it could be dangerous, but I'll be careful. I need to find her.
Well, it's far away. That it's beyond the scope of what you could do. You're needed here. It's a pointless gesture. You should wipe these foolish ideas from your thoughts and focus on more important things like protecting your loved ones here.
Well, I think I may
sorry, you can get an idea. He's a dead end, or he's going to do the. I'm protecting you, so we're done here. He kind of shuts the conversation down as you try to keep pushing.
Well, I think I have a way to do both, but you're right about that. Right. Thank you, though. Thank you.
Yeah. Are you staying for dinner? Are your brothers and sisters coming?
Well, I can invite them, and I probably won't roleplay this all out, but I'll probably go invite them, and if it's just down the street or something, and
it's a little ways down the street, not too far. So while we put that on hold for a minute, what are the other three of you? Anything relevant or just your usual day-to-day stuff?
Usual day-to-day stuff, so I'm probably
Okay.
not even home.
Okay. Yeah, you'd be kept pretty busy.
Yeah.
All right.
Probably not.
So, William and Osric mentioned that there's dinner at Dad's house tonight if you want to go. That's up to you if either of you want to show up. Any of you want to show up. But we can skip to that if no one else has anything particular that they would want to do. We won't role play it all out, like you said. Show up. He's got a whole table set out. He's cooked more food than he needs once again. Trying to, buy his children's affection with food and whatever it is, and he's even dropped a few coin and hired somebody to come in and play a little music in the background while you eat, which is embarrassing when two of you are somewhat trained musicians. Mm-hmm. And the guy really picks up the paid entertainment. Quickly decides to take his leave when he realizes that one of the guests is Nevaeh, and everybody knows. Anybody in the music business knows who she is. So he kind of like, I can't. I'm sorry. Look, here's your money back, sir. I can't. And you have a nice dinner, and it's a normal dinner, and it's, does everybody go just real quick, just for purposes of, I'll get her out of there. Nevaeh goes, because she goes. I know she goes. You go? Yep.
I go, yep.
You go?
Sure.
All right.
Why do I have a raven?
Yeah.
That's mine.
It's on your face. Why is there a raven?
Those are simple
Oh,
letters, obviously.
old
He likes
Osric
you.
One Eye. And it's a usual chit chat. Every so often, William will kind of try to work in a question about Durham, and if it even starts with the letter D, then he cuts you off and says, "So about them, whatever it is, how about that sports ball?" Just whatever he has to avoid the conversation. But after a little while, a familiar face arrives at the front door. There's a knock, and he gets up and he leaves, and he comes back and he says, William, you have a visitor.
Oh,
Found her.
oh.
And she wanders into the room. She kind of smiles, waves to everyone. How's everyone doing? Just kind of a friendly gesture. She'd be a little older than this token ended up being. But she's aging slow even for a half-elf. And she says, I'd like to speak with William if it's okay with everyone. And she kind of walks back into the hallway.
I'm glad you could make it. Thank you.
I've heard some concerning things, William. Karen tells me you want to go to Durham.
Yes.
He says something about your mother?
Yeah, I know she's there and she's in trouble. And I have to go help her. And I heard you knew a quick way there.
Brian's listening in with the raven.
So who's listening in with the birds?
No, because she might not know that I can do that, but I know William would know that that's what
Yeah.
I'm doing besides.
I put that there in case anyone was wondering. Brian didn't do it.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. I didn't do that.
She says, William, there is nothing but death in Durham. Daybreak has looked in on it. It is not worth going. I don't know where you're getting this information, but I would seriously question your sources. This is the hard part about having a ghostly spirit patron who tells you things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Big Bird, but Snuffleupagus isn't real.
Yeah, until they find out otherwise.
Well, I have to check, okay? What exactly have you heard about Durham? What's going on there?
Make a persuasion roll. She's very hesitant to tell you.
I mean, I've heard what happened 50 years ago, but if Dravok has been there more recently, what exactly is happening there?
Meanwhile, I'm telling Dad all about the meeting with the friggin' band.
He's like, yeah, this was outside my wall. And he holds up one of the psychic fish posters. They stuck it on the
This door
front.
is opening, or
I can frame that for you if you'd like.
I grab it, toss it in the fireplace.
which version of the poster is it?
It's still the original. It's plastered over the mantelpiece to the fireplace. There we go. There.
I ask him if he thinks, like, how many people will show up if there's, like, a benefit concert, though. Like,
Oh, if you're playing, everybody will show up. Miranda sits down on the stairs, and she just kind of looks up at you. She says, if what Daybreak has seen is real, Durham is lost. If there's anybody there alive, I don't know how. It seems that the vampire lord Malvok managed to get the ear of Denise Wright and was turning her against the populace. It's possible. Hold on. It's possible that your mother, yes, I know who your mother was sent by her order, which is long gone, unfortunately, to try to root him out. She was a fairly high-ranking war priest of the Blessed Daughter, and I believe maybe her order thought that she was strong enough to face him one-on-one. It is very unlikely that she had any kind of success. We would have heard it by now, so she is surely gone. I hate to break it to you, William, but it's a fool's errand to think that she's alive.
Well, I don't know how I can explain it to you, but I know. I don't even know who it is that told me, but I think she may be. She talked to my mother. She watched my mother, and I think she might be. She might be somehow related to the Blessed Daughter. This person I talked to. She tells me I have to go and get her before it's too late.
William, who have you told about this? Who are you planning on taking?
Well, probably my siblings.
She kind of looks over her shoulder into the room where everyone's still yet gabbing and clinking drinks and talking. She gives an appraising eye and she looks back at you. Well, you could do worse. Are they all on board?
I think so, though. Now that you've told me what's actually involved, I should probably tell them that first.
William, I have a soft spot for you. I understand your plight. I can't get into details on why. All right. Here's what I can do. I can tell you the runes for the teleportation circle. Garen has told me that you're aware that this house, or that the house across the street, technically, because it's an inn again. If you don't remember, Dad moved across the street into an apartment, and the inn is now actually a functioning inn again. He says if you go to the barn, it's probably faded now, but you can use the floor in the barn as a teleportation circle. I can show you the pattern for Cobbler's Knob. It's about a half day's travel south of Durham. You follow the coast. You recon. You don't go in unless you are certain of what you're going to find there. You play it super safe. Garen's working on a package of equipment. You come back here tomorrow morning with everybody who's going. And I reserve the right to change my mind, but I will meet you across the street tomorrow at sunup. And we'll see what's going on. And then she stands up and she goes into the kitchen. She goes, it was good seeing everybody. I gotta go. Nice to see you again. And she shakes Castor's hand.
Bye,
Raised a
Miranda.
bunch of good ones. And then she leaves. He says, well, she's nice. I've always liked her.
But where's Dravok? I didn't get to ask her. Ugh.
It's always that question.
Talk to her tomorrow at sunup.
True.
So you fill everybody in? Or do you wait till you're not at Dad's anymore?
Probably later when we're not at Dad's.
All right, so you head home. Nevea, Vora still out, conveniently tied up with other projects.
Or with ropes.
Or with ropes. It could be. Gotta fix that bed again. And you fill the bed, I suppose. And has anyone changed their mind? Threat of vampires? City of undead? Good idea, bad idea?
You say undead? Count me in.
Yeah, they may even be the undead that have been attacking the city, in fact.
Oh, see? Hence my gift. Look at that.
This is a suicide mission.
Yeah, you gotta
How
gather the right
fascinating.
party. You gotta do all their loyalty missions first,
Yeah.
and assign the right people to each job.
You don't have to go, Your Highness.
So it will be dangerous, it sounds like, and we may not be successful. I do agree we probably should play it safe, but
I don't think William will be dissuaded, so
And I'm not letting him go alone.
but
I'm going to.
if you don't want to go, I understand. In fact, maybe that's better, so there's someone to watch after Roldez if something happens. But thank you those who do want to come
Avora and Dura aren't here, which means they are not coming, which means that they will be here to help Roldez if at any point something attacks while we're gone. Okay? And, Walking Tin Can over here doesn't want to go because he's... I don't know. But, like I said, I am not letting you go alone.
There
I
are
will
more
not
important things
let you go
here
alone.
in the city than going off halfway around the world on what? On saving someone that's already dead?
We don't know that. I thought you were a paladin.
What's that supposed to mean?
Saving someone who may or may not be alive, saving someone who, if they are on the brink of death or being tortured, if there is a way that she might even be slightly alive and we can get to her in time.
The trouble's here. Not there.
I don't know, you never used to dream about finding your real parents? Pretty sure that's a dream all of us used to have until we met Dad. I look at William and I give him a big hug and I look at him with kind of sad eyes. I'm like, buddy, I'm going with you whether or not. I don't care what they say, all right?
Thank you.
But we do have to think about the possibility that if she is alive or even almost on the brink of death, it might not be her anymore, depending on what kind of horrors they put her through in there.
True.
How certain are you that you can trust this being that speaks to you?
Well,
I remember
pretty
that... Sorry, William. I remember that being, the little girl, helped him when we went into that test that Lady Lythe was giving all of us, where he fell off the bridge and could have died but didn't. She was there. He talked to her. Like, she helps him with his magic somehow.
I'm not saying she has ill intentions. I'm just saying she might not know as much as she thinks she does.
Who's to say she's not the same as Osbright's liege or whatever that helps him with his magic?
Who's to say she is?
That's just it. We don't know. We can't see her, but I trust William.
Right.
I believe
That's
William.
That's why I'm asking William if he thinks he can trust her.
I think so, yes. I'm not sure why I think that. If you had to tell me why or ask me why do you think this, there's nothing I can point to, but
Because I'm pretty sure, buddy, you are the only demon who is pure of heart.
I think she gives me my powers. I think she might be related to the Blessed Daughter, and I know I can trust her. Somehow.
Okay.
Out of character, I would add, who doesn't William trust? But
That's
he
true.
wouldn't say
That is
I
true.
was manipulated by a druid once a while back.
that.
A little too trusting of him.
Poor Jim.
But I certainly understand, Osbright, if you want to stay here, and the city may need you.
See, that's half of us protecting the city. The other half can go. It's fine. Let's go.
All right. In the morning, I'm going to roll it forward a little bit. In the morning, as most of you are getting ready to leave, Osbright has a missive from the Risen Martyr headquarters requesting urgently that you come first light.
He ruined the surprise.
This is your mission. Stop. If you choose to accept it, stop.
This isn't your mission. You're going to Durham.
Don't ruin it.
Sorry.
Well, I hope your mission isn't too dangerous. Good luck, guys, Osbright.
Oh, that's not good music. I need cheerful music.
And hopefully we'll see you again. Hopefully we come back.
And alive.
I can't even hear this one. Sure, why not? A little spooky, but I don't care. You are called to the headquarters of the Risen Martyr, and I assume that you go.
Of course.
You are, you assume that you're supposed to head to Redgrave's office. And she is, get your lizard off my battle map. And she is seated at her desk doing some paperwork, and a couple soldiers come in and she gives them orders on something to do, and then she goes, Osbright, good. You received my message before you left. Excellent.
Left?
She thinks you're going.
Word has reached me that you are undertaking an operation to Durham. Is that true?
I am not, mistress.
You're not?
No, my duty is here in the city.
Walk with me. She heads out onto the battlements, so you can overlook the city from the fortress. She says, Osbright, do you remember that first night when you were signed up with us? When we rode out into the woods and battled the armies of the undead there?
Yes.
It is a little known fact that Lady Lithe did her damnedest to keep from us. But those undead waves every last one of them, carried a singular message. Darum sends its wishes. Every single time. On that night, my most trusted advisor, Hux, my strongest, bravest fighter, jumped through the portal like an idiot. And I thought him dead until recently. About 6 months ago, I received this. And she pulls out from her pocket a tiny little piece of paper rolled up. She says it was in a bottle that washed ashore in Tirsog, of all places. I don't know when he wrote it. I don't know when he threw it in the ocean. But apparently, when he jumped through that portal, he found himself in the town of Kessel. And he said the town was under siege by hordes of undead. And he was attempting to fight them back, to be a hero like he does. And I had no way to get the message back to him. But if you choose to undertake this mission, and there's even the remotest chance that he is there, that he can be rescued and brought home, I would be forever grateful to you. This is not an official mission. I am not ordering you to go. But I am asking you. I cannot leave my duties here. I have wanted to for months, but I cannot. I cannot help but think that this is an opportunity sent to me to ask your aid.
I remember him jumping through the portal.
I don't know these places that you're talking about.
I know. You'll see a map later.
Okay.
Actually, I can. It's not going to give away anything. I can put people on a map. There you go. Have a map.
I also remember that Clarice was really upset afterwards.
Can you see the map? It is. It's about a day south of Calver's Knob. But this is leaving out a lot of land between where Tearsdale is and where Roldez is. Like months of overland travel. The portal will take you to Calver's Knob, which is 15 miles south of Durham.
That's not bad.
How do you know of this supposed trip?
People talk. It's Miranda. I'll fess up. I think she was hoping that I was going to go.
Why don't you go?
Because I'm an NPC. And if I go, it takes agency away from the players. Besides, I knew you'd be difficult, so. But actually, I set this up during your beginning pre-level 1. This was literally planned since I started the campaign.
Oh, wow.
This was one of the loose ends I wanted to tie up. If you go back and listen to all the opening cutscenes from like the first couple years worth, a lot of it is tied to Darum.
So, how long ago did Hux jump into the portal?
Like 6 years, 7 years.
And then 6 months ago, she received the bottle. So if he dropped it when he was in Kessel or when he got the chance, then it took years to get from Kessel to where we are?
Don't know how long or where he's been. That's exactly the point.
Damn. Yeah, but damn.
Yep. If it helps, I have a suit of plate armor with your name on it.
That's not necessary.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
It's not magical, but it is plate armor.
I don't even know what I have.
You've chainmail?
I'm not going to war. This is a mission.
True,
Carrying
but
a
if that's
plate
what you...
into an unknown territory seems like it would be a disadvantage.
You've always had a good head on your shoulder, Osbright. You're gonna make a leader. We're gonna make a leader out of you.
Hopefully. I really just want to make doors.
Well, I hope you'll consider it.
This goes against that mission. They're going to Durham.
Yes, but it will bring you much closer. The undead that attacked Durham that attacked Roldez came from Durham. He was helping Kessel defend against waves of undead, which means the waves of undead attacking probably came from Durham. You can assess the situation and perhaps make contact with him after the mission is through. I was given the impression that William was only going to scout, and Miranda seems pretty confident that Durham itself is not worth the effort.
Scout. William's acting emotionally.
He's young.
And people are expecting
that's why he needs someone older to keep an eye on.
Follow orders.
I'm not expecting him to follow your orders, but I'm hoping that...
No, I'm not expecting him to follow my orders either, but he was giving very strict advice, and he's going to break it.
Well, then he needs some reasonable voices around him to dissuade foolish actions. She kind of clasps her hand in a relatively unfamiliar personal gesture kind of thing. And there's like moisture on the edges of her eyes when she says, I need to know what happened to him, Osbright.
I'll go, but you're sending me to my death.
I hope that's not true. I
have double mutated.
It seems I have more faith in you than you have of yourself.
Maybe. We'll see. And I'll turn and walk away.
Okay. She will not argue or put up any kind of a hassly argument. So you meet outside of the inn, out near the barn. Miranda is there, and to your surprise, I suppose, Osric shows up. Miranda kind of smiles when Osric shows up.
I think that's
Osbright, sorry. Osbright.
I giggle a little, but try not to let him see.
And she has a bag, and she hands it to William. She says, "These are some supplies Garen came up with. I don't know what's in here, and neither does the DM, so don't wait till tomorrow to open the bag." And she explains to you the patterning to cast teleportation circle. Now, does anybody of the casters in this group actually have that spell? I forgot to check.
What is it?
Teleportation circle? It's 5th level.
No, I don't have access to 5th level yet.
I have it.
You do have it. I thought you might. I thought I saw something in the post that said you had it. Oh, yep, there it is. Perfect.
I
Ooh, and Ray's dead.
with
How
cash.
convenient.
And mask cure wounds, and
Ooh, you got some good ones. All right. Then she will specifically talk to you and explain to you how the circle pattern works. And
I
she
listen
takes you in the
very
barn.
intently because I
Yep.
am going there and I am coming back.
She takes you in the barn and she shows you where the pattern is on the floor, and then she steps back and watches as you cast the spell, I presume. And as you finish casting the spell, everyone standing in the circle kind of sees the vision around them shift. It still looks like a barn, but it looks like a slightly different barn. Much older. The roof seems to have long ago burned away. And while the pattern is etched into the floor, the building has seen better days. When you leave the barn, you find yourself... No, not Forest with Fire. I want this one. You find yourself in front of an inn. With a sign
Yes!
still intact. See, Chris, this is why I like... That's a little bit more beat down than the image shows. This was the best, the only one that got the spelling right of all the ones I tried to do.
And I saw some of the ones he tried to do.
Oh, I made more today. This is because I realized the one that I liked before was the Dubious Virgin with an N with no I before it. I have one that says the Dub Dubious Virgin.
Okay, and wolves is spelled WOOVS.
I have one that says Tavern and has a nice woman on the statue, which I like, but Tavern. That's so dumb. So, we have the Dubious Virgin. You are there. The town is empty. The buildings are vacant. A few of them are burned. Some of them are caving in from age. Nobody's lived here in a long time. No signs of a struggle. Just empty. A ghost town. And because it's almost 10, I'm going to fast forward a little bit. You travel north along the ocean coastline toward where you know Durham to be. And before long, you spot it. It's a decent-sized city. It's nowhere near Roldez. Half at best. Durham didn't have a lot of time to grow before it got vacated. But where the castle stands, in the middle of the city, there is a ring of humongous black trees that have grown so tall that you can only imagine that inside that canopy it is permanently night. And over the city, the cloud cover has turned a deep gray. So if any light does come from the sun, it's not getting through the clouds, so it will never make it through the trees. And I should be playing scary music.
Well, if that's not where the vampire lives, I am not a bard.
Now, the tree ring is inside Durham, so the outside outlying buildings do exist. And one of them even has a little wisps of smoke coming out of the chimney of the house. And the farm looks like it's an active farm. One single active farm outside the city of Durham. I have an image that you wouldn't see until tomorrow, but you won't be on this page anymore tomorrow. So this is kind of a mood piece of what Durham kind of feels like from the outside. But you can't really see the castle, but you know the castle's there because just poking out the top of the black death canopy of trees is a little spire with one of the single crosses. Yeah, that thing. Just poking out through the canopy of trees. And as you linger outside the city of Durham, that's where we're going to stop tonight.
And that's when the mist closed in.
I know, it's not quite. This would have been a perfect Halloween type game, but too bad.